Silicon Valley is like for people from Stanford, Harvard, Google, whatever, like we don't belong there. And I'm like, come on.
My husband, Dmitry, when we came here as immigrants, no friends, no network, nothing.
And we started growing so fast. We went from like 5 or 6 people to 60 people, like less than half a year.
Dmitry has been my longtime business partner. Some investors, they said to us it was a red flag.
Oh, I was so mad after this meeting, you remember? I'm like, come on, like...
But we stopped working together around 2019. And let's talk about why. Hey guys, welcome to Silicon Valley Girl. I have someone very special today, and this is your first time on this channel.
Wow. Yeah.
We did some videos together back in the
I
day.
made it.
We did some videos together back in the day, but this is the first time. My husband, Dmitry, we've been married since 2017. We've been together
Right
since...
answer, yeah.
We've been together since 2010, which means 15 years. And oh my God, is it today? Was it yesterday? Yesterday was 15 years since we moved in together. And Dmitry has been my longtime business partner, had been my longtime business partner. We stopped working together in 2019. And this is what I want to talk to you about today. Like in general, can you talk about the time we worked together, what you liked about it and what you didn't like?
First of all, I think, thanks for inviting me to the podcast. That's how you understand you made it in Silicon Valley. You know? I think that's the definition of co-founders, because if not you and me, the company would not exist, because we're very different in our skill set. And I was like dreaming big and like say like, okay, we have to go to Silicon Valley, we have to raise capital there, we have to change the market and like build online tools, blah blah blah. And you were the person who actually deliver all the operational thing. Hey, you were an expert in the product. So I think if not you and me, like the company would not exist simply. So
for people who are wondering what's going on with your English, because I know a lot of people ask all the time.
Yeah, like
let's
okay,
just
guys,
clarify.
let's fight one-on-one. Like,
he came to the
bring it
US
outside.
barely speaking English, which
Yeah.
happened in 2015. So I think the progress is great. The progress is there.
Thanks for bringing it up.
I just wanted to, because I know people are going to ask.
Let's address elephant in the room, you know?
Yes, please.
And I couldn't even like dream to say this phrase like 10 years
Exactly.
ago.
He knows so many idioms and cool phrases because now he talks
Watching TV shows all the time.
Watches TV shows in English.
Yeah, that's basically all I do, you know?
But I want you to understand that like the dynamics in our couple, what Dmitry just said, or I call him Dima. I know it's very confusing for a lot of Americans. They're like, they think
Call me
Dima.
John. It's easier for you
Sorry,
guys.
it's John, whatever. That he is all about dreaming big. And if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be here. Because he was the one like, let's raise money in Silicon Valley. Let's approach Silicon Valley, VCs, etc. I remember DMing Mark Zuckerberg on LinkedIn. I will, if I get him on this interview, I'm going to show him that DM.
Yeah, I remember like sitting in my pants behind the laptop, like in this small room, and like in St. Petersburg, and like, yeah.
It wasn't
like,
small. It was an okay room.
And I was like, okay, guys, I'll give you a favor if I'll ask you to invest in us.
That's his mindset, okay?
And yeah,
My
I was
mindset,
a little bit delusional, but I guess it's necessary.
Exactly. This is necessary. And I like that. Like my approach to everything that I do is like, hey, okay, this is a really big goal. I don't even know if I'm going to reach it, but I'm going to try. It makes me excited. So I'm going to work every single day. I'm going to make some small steps towards that goal. And we're very different in that. And this is what made us a great couple to work together. We're still a great couple as a family, but we stopped working together around 2019. And let's talk about why. Can I start?
I just want to say, like, finishing previous part, big thanks to Alfred Lin. I remember, like, I was Googling, like, what's the best investors, and Sequoia pop up as number one. I'm like, okay, like, sure, we have to work with best ones. Everybody told me, like, come on, guys, like, Silicon Valley is, like, for people from Stanford, Harvard, Google, whatever, like, we don't belong there. And I'm like, come on, like, Silicon Valley is all about, like, results. If you can show that you have a good idea, you have results, like, they don't care about where are you from, and blah, blah, blah. And he was among the first who actually, from the big guys, who replied and say, like, okay, brilliant, cool, blah, blah, blah. Keep us posted. And for me back then, keep us posted meant like, and I told Marina, come on, that's almost done deal.
Yep.
You see Sequoia like interested in us. And that's also a thing, like when you don't know enough, sometimes it's good, because now when we're here, I know like keep us posted mean basically no. Sorry guys, like it's polite way to say we're not interested. But I didn't know that back then. We use this energy for like next half a year and like
kept them updated.
And then like we ended up here like in 500 startups. It's actually helped back then because it gave the confidence.
And we had, again, coming back to Dmitry's English and everything.
I asked Marina to check this email because I couldn't write the email.
My understanding of American culture was like his English, like zero. We basically
like his English now.
No, but it was so funny because whenever people were like, keep us posted, oh my God, guys, you're doing something so exciting. And they would come up with suggestions. We're like, oh, they're actually really interested because they said our startup is amazing.
Yeah.
When in reality, it meant nothing. They're just being polite and saying like, oh, and another one, when people didn't reply to us, remember, like we would have a meeting with a person, would email them the next day, and they would just disappear.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, we will be following up. And then I started asking around like other Americans, like, what does it mean? And they explain it's an open door. They don't want to say no. They don't want to say yes.
Keep us posted basically is also an open door, but more like no.
Opportunity in 2 years, maybe if you become a hot startup, they'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I completely missed your email. No,
came to the spam folder. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah. So here we are. Yeah, let's talk about investing. So, but you only understand it once you're here. It's so funny. And I think it's amazing that we went through all of this together.
100%.
We have so many stories to tell. The company that Dmitry and I have co-founded is called Linguatrip, and Trip because it was initially a booking platform for study abroad experiences, so you could travel and learn a language. COVID completely changed our business idea. We had to pivot from travel to online. So now it's a platform where you can improve your English significantly, and we specialize in intensive courses, intensive classes where you try to fit everything in 7 or 8 weeks. Because I was inspired by my own progress. Most of my progress happened when I immersed myself into English, and we try to create an atmosphere that's very similar to studying abroad. You're taught by either native speakers or people whose English is almost native speaker level, and you will never believe that English is not their first language. And we connect you with people from all over the world, so you could practice English online by chatting to each other, by talking to each other. If you're a non-native speaker watching this channel, I highly, highly recommend some of our courses. Because you understand this video, I can highly recommend American pronunciation course. This is how I trained my pronunciation. I don't sound 100% like a native speaker, but I think I don't really have a strong accent. That course taught by my ex-teacher, Venya, is absolutely amazing and can help you sound more American. Another course is called Intermediate to Advanced, and this one is for people who are trying to speak like a native, trying to sound more like a native, but are also lacking some grammar and vocabulary structures. And you can check that one out. And of course, if you're willing to study in the US, so we have a dedicated TOEFL course that helps you prepare for the TOEFL test, which you take and then you apply to American universities and universities worldwide. I will leave the link down below, and we continue our conversation with Dmitry. But then someday we stopped working together, and we're going to talk about that. We're just postponing this, but something I wanted to tell you, like, I love your mindset so much. And now when we're talking and, you're doing your own thing, I'm doing my own, I'm always thinking like, it would have been so cool if you could work for my media company.
Okay, now we know the reason for this podcast, guys, right? That's a negotiation right here.
Because
sorry, no.
his vision is always like, let's build $1 billion company. Let's do this. Let's do this thing. And because I'm completely different, and now I run my own media company, and I'm the CEO. I'm the one who makes decisions. I have a COO, but I don't have a partner who I could consult with. I have my investors, they're great, but it's not like I'm going to call them every day. I miss that a lot.
Thanks a lot.
About working
Feel free
together.
to...
No, that's what I do. But
at
the end of the day, we brainstorm a lot, but at the end of the day, I realize it's just my decision, when back then it was our common decision. And I could always tell you, hey, I don't think I can make this decision. It's your go. You just do whatever you want. So I miss that a lot. Something I don't miss, and comes from a woman, who's always thinking about plan B, plan C, working for the same company, relying on the same income stream. And I know people who watch this channel have seen my video about my anxiety that comes from losing income streams led me to the reality where I have 19 different income streams. It's
Great.
just, I'm going, but it's a little bit, I think when I looked at that video, I'm like, okay, this fear is like real. So this is what I didn't like. And this is what happened so I was pregnant. Oh, we actually had a baby. COVID started. And we were basically, our main source of income was Linguatrip. And that was like, oh my God, I was so glad some of my vlogs were already taking off and I was able to make some income with them so I could support our family. And it was like, some of the worst times.
First of all, like if you want to work together, I think it's very important to, from the beginning, to say like who will make a calls, because that's why we never have an argument.
Oh yeah, and he still has, and he had 1% more than me. So, and I think it's great. I know a lot of entrepreneurs who do 50-50, and it looks like it's a common thing on the market. But I think, and I've never heard anyone suggest 51-49 when partners start together, but I think it's actually genius. Because right from the start, you know who's going to be the key decision maker. And for my personality, it's actually better. I want someone to make those big decisions.
The most important is not even like the stock split, it's like decisions for basically the board.
Decision?
Yeah, because I think I don't understand the situation where it's like everybody has like equal votes and like equal like in terms of decision making. Yeah, because it's very good when you have clarity in the beginning and consensus, like it should be the one who at the end of the day makes the decision. It worked out really well. I think so.
We never had an argument about any decision. Yeah.
In terms of working together, I think I have slightly different perspective. Like I want to surprise you as a woman, and when you have the same company, you're doing the same thing, you can't surprise you, right? Because I can't surprise.
It's coming. I'm like, why is
because we equally contributed to this thing, and like it's our thing, our company. We're doing it together, and there's no room for this like man-woman relationship thing when you want surprise, and that's why I think it's not good energy. I think it's amazing that we did it. It's great to have this experience because we learn from each other. We we accomplished the goal, etc. But now it's the next phase, and I think it's even better when you have different spheres and you can surprise each other.
When we came here as immigrants, no friends, no network, nothing. And when you're networking together, this means you're going to the same parties, you're meeting the same people, and it kind of like it just cuts some opportunities from you. What I notice now is that our networks are completely different. I do my own creator thing, you do your own thing, and it's actually better because we meet more people, and then we can just have more people come over to our house and meet each other's network.
As a family, we have like way like better coverage in terms of expertise, people, etc.
So we're still one single piece. We're going different directions, but we're bringing everything back home. Which is kind of cool. What would you say to couples or people who want to start a company together as a couple or as friends, or maybe, for example, someone has a good creator career and they want their husband to come in? Like, what would be your advice for people who work together?
Like, I mean, for first part, as I mentioned already, like clearly think and feel who is better in terms of making key decisions and make it clear. So who will make a calls at the end of the day? It will be like very narrow thing in terms of like your private life and business life, because it would be like sometimes you will discuss business stuff during like late nights. Sometimes you don't. So I mean, it's okay.
At some stage, we actually stopped that because I was too bored, or not too bored, but I was like, oh, come on.
And what was the second?
It was the same question. Just advice for people who want to work together. And
don't. No, I'm kidding. No.
No, it works for some people.
No, I'm kidding. No. I think it's if it's organically what you want to do, definitely do it. Just like discuss like everything up front, like what's your expectations, what do you want to achieve. So be clear in terms of objectives and how you want to do it. Then just enjoy the ride.
It was more about us as a couple versus us as entrepreneurs.
100%. It was like the fun journey, and we were like achieving this dream together, and it was super exciting journey. For me, like I never thought about it as about a job or work or something. For me, it was fun.
But remember, some investors, they said to us it was a red flag and they would never invest.
Oh, I was so mad after this meeting, you remember? I'm like, come on, like...
It was after YC or something?
It was, I mean, many people told us this, different investors, but we proved them wrong.
Wow.
No, I mean... I mean, they concern were like that if that you have an argument, blah, 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 but I mean, everything is good.
It was never an argument. Yeah.
So if you want to do it, don't listen like people who say like, oh, it's like blah, blah, blah. Because I mean, a lot of examples where it's working. And it can be fun for sure.
So we came to Silicon Valley in 2015. It's 2025. It's been 10 years. We're going to celebrate 10 years in April. What would you change about our journey?
At the beginning, like when it was like second year, third year of our company, so 2019, 2017, we started growing so fast. So like 3 times year over year in terms of revenue. Like 2017 probably was even faster. And I think like we did strategic mistake in terms of hiring, because we went from like 5 or 6 people to 60 people, like less than half a year or something like this. And we keep the same people, first employees. Like we made them like, they were SMM manager, for example, and we made them like operational director or something like this. And it was a huge mistake because company were growing. We need like expertise from people who already passed this phase and like they know how to do it. And we were in a position, we were a hot startup and we could raise like enough capital and we could hire cool people, but we didn't do it. Instead, we just kept to our team, because also maybe it's culture or personal thing. Like, okay, like we have these people, they're working for us already 2-3 years. They're enjoying the company. We want to put trust on them, etc., etc. But as an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to have like prioritize the goal of the company more than anything else, and it's take a huge courage, and sometimes you have to be tough. And I didn't make this call. It was my mistake. And so I definitely changed that. Also, we had an offer for acquisition. Like it started, like the discussion was started, but I said like, no, we're not interested because like we just start growing, etc. And we didn't even saw the term sheet. Now I understand. So it's like it's better to always get your term sheet and then decide. That's the first rule. And then it's also very good when you have an exit very early, and then it's not even about the money that you have from your first exit. It's about the reputation, and then it helps you with your second company.
But do you think that happened because we came from the same background? And that was the mistake initially. Like you don't start a company with someone who has the same background, same education, same interests. Maybe you need to have someone who
I think like on paper it sounds good, but I think it's very important. It's very important that we have the same background, same culture. That's why we managed to do it together, and no argument, etc. But for example, if we hired like local people who like worked in the companies who got acquired or something like this, they could give us this advice. Okay, come on, guys, let's be strategic about it. Because I remember I didn't want to dilute ourselves, so we raised exact amount of money that we know how to deploy to in order to get like higher valuation, and then raise small checks again with like 2 or 3 times more valuation. That's why we still not diluted at all almost. But maybe if you like in Silicon Valley, maybe it was wiser to get cool investors on board. And these cool investors, they help you navigate through this. And maybe it's even good to give them a board seat, create a board seat with a seat of directors so you can discuss these topics. So definitely I would go this route back then. And especially because it's the first company, and my end goal always was like with this company, come here, establish the track record, and then do huge things. That's why I want to be here in Silicon Valley. And now I understand that this main logic didn't correlate with my my tactic decisions, because it was way smarter to say like, okay, exit, great. Couple of meals, let's go. I have this record of like selling the company. Let's try to find the big thing now. So definitely a mistake.
But would you ever start a company with me?
I mean, yes, because I remember myself at the university, I had these all crazy ideas, and it was like third year of the university. And I remember this was a visualization that I spent so much time and energy, and my family also spent so much time and energy and money to prepare myself to get accepted to this best top Russian math university, etc. And on the third year, I remember, okay, if it stops now, I'm nowhere. I didn't start the company with my classmates. I didn't start the company myself, and I have only 2 more years, and I have to have the company already until this point. And I had only like big ideas and stuff. And I understand, okay, with these big ideas, when I don't have money at all, I don't have reputation, I could probably it's hard to pull it off. And I start seeking for ideas that I can implement without capital, because we didn't have this a beautiful situation like in Silicon Valley in the rest of the world, where you can raise money for idea, being a freshman and out of the college. I mean, with you, I saw that, okay, we actually can pull it off, because you are an expert in this field, you're passionate about it, and we definitely can do marketing, and we can create a product, and we don't need much to start. I just went, I remember I told all our classmates that we already have this company. If you want to go study abroad, go with us. And that's how we get our first customers. And that's how we were able to build a website, rent an office, etc., etc. I think it was opportunistic, and we didn't have a choice, So it wasn't like I can do this company.
You were choosing.
I mean, yeah, it was like a flow, and it was organically good, and it was like perfect way.
Yeah.
And also understand, I remember thinking that I never dreamed to live in other countries or something like this. And I remember that it was your primary goal to actually move to English-speaking country. That was your mission, life mission. And I understood that it's important for you in huge part. We never spoke about this, but
then once I called you from Canada saying that we're moving to Manitoba because there's this immigration program.
This Silicon Valley move. I even I doubled my emails amount that night to be able to get accepted to Silicon Valley accelerators and stuff, because no way we have to make it to Silicon Valley, because I don't want to move to Canada. Jokes aside, I understood that it's very important for you and to be able to feel your need, and also my dream as an entrepreneur, I found that this path is actually a win-win for everybody. That's also the truth.
Yeah.
Why it was a very the way it is.
Yeah.
It's not only business
But
decision.
now, would you make this business decision again, or you think, because everything we mentioned, everything we went through and understood, this is not going to be
of course. First of all, it's what if, would've, should've, could've. It doesn't work this way. It is what it is. And I think it's perfect, happy journey, because we had so much great memories together, and we went through a lot of cool stuff. We grew together. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. I think it's great.
What about you? No.
I told you. I would love to have someone like you in my media company, but I also understand that taking your goals into consideration, this is not at all what you want to do. So I'm not even talking about it at all. But yeah, ideally, yeah. But now I feel like I'm more in the media space and you're doing your own thing. And I think it's the best decision for now. Let's see what happens in 10 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Sorry for the bad English. I'll practice.
It's getting better every single day.
Yeah. So thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to watch your growth, and doing an amazing job. Keep doing that.
Thank you so much.
I love you.
I love you too. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching to the very end. Please subscribe to my new Instagram for this channel. It's called I Am Silicon Valley Girl. It's more focused on business and this particular podcast. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.